Hey, and welcome back to the Coding Hub. In this video, we're going to look at signs your SaaS idea might fail. And if you enjoy this type of content and my videos in general, then I'd love a like and subscribe. It would really help me out to make more of these videos. Okay, let's get into it. So, number one, you can't name a single person who will pay for it. And this is very important. It's important to know that you have at least a few people that you're aware that will pay for it. And actually a book called The 24-Hour Millionaire Weekend is a great book that goes a lot of detail into this, where it basically says that you need to find people that are willing to pay for it, get them to pay for the idea, even if you don't actually have anything to give them, and just get them to commit to pay for it when your product is ready to go. And that way you know that there's interest. If you can find 3 people in a weekend that will pay for something just based on the idea, they'll just give you some sort of deposit down for when your idea is live, then you know that this idea has legs. And that is the most surefire way to know that you will have a successful SaaS business, is that you know that you'll have the interest. And to be honest, in today's world, the way that people do it is with waiting lists, and that's one way. But if you do get a commitment, a monetary commitment up front, that's a more reassuring vision of that something will actually work. Okay, number 2 is that you are working on a completely unique idea, that something's not been tested and tried before. And that is a pitfall of a lot of new entrepreneurs because they think that they have to come up with something completely brand new in order to show that they are, that they'll have a successful business. And if you create something that already kind of exists, then people say, oh, but what about Facebook? Let's say you're making a new social media platform, people will say, oh, there's already Facebook, there's already Instagram, why would they need this? But then if you look at all these different social media platforms, you start to understand that actually it's not just the case of needing to innovate. It's if you manage to innovate in an already existing market, something that people generally want, like social media, and you innovate within that market. For example, you go down a niche like work, like LinkedIn did, and you innovate within those specific niches, then you have a much higher likeliness to succeed. And the reason for this is, you don't have to market as hard because people are already naturally searching for those terms like social media or whatever. And so you can naturally position yourself within those natural searching and buying habits of those customers. So don't necessarily look for something completely unique. That's not necessarily bad, but be prepared that you have a more likely chance of not succeeding due to the fact that you have to spend a lot more money on marketing and education of your customers, especially if it's something very, very new. Okay, number 3 is that you are the only person experiencing this problem. So is this a SaaS that will hopefully fix someone's issues? In that case, then that's good. But you need to find a SaaS problem that will fix many people's issues. So, do things like going on Google Trends, seeing if people are searching for this, how many people are searching for it, ask around, see if anyone else is experiencing that problem. And if you can find lots of people experiencing the same issues, then that's great. That's something that's got potential to be a great product. So yeah, definitely look for those opportunities that many people have an issue with, and then try and solve that problem. Okay, so number 4 is that you can't actually pitch your idea very easily. If it's not something that you can pitch in essentially a sentence or very short amount of time, then people kind of get bored, they stop listening, and that's just a failure of people in general. We're very self-absorbed. So if it's something that you can't explain in 1 or 2 sentences and very quickly, then people will generally start to forget what you kind of meant, and they might get confused. So it has to be something that's very quick, and that's where you might have heard of something like your elevator pitch. And it's just something that you can do in an elevator ride. And there's a lot of really good resources out there for this sort of thing on how you can learn to do these pitches for your idea. So yeah, I'll definitely recommend taking a look at some stuff online and finding a way to quickly and easily pitch your SaaS idea. Okay, so number 5 is actually you're prioritizing the wrong things. And again, this is a pitfall of brand new entrepreneurs. And the reason for that is that, they try and do the things that sound fun, that look fun, and that they think are important, but actually they're not important at all. Like, for example, they go in and they start, talking to their friends. They say, oh, maybe we can work on this together, which is not bad. It can actually be a good thing, but you first of all need to find that there's a market for it, that this is a problem that needs to be solved, instead of prioritizing, finding people to work with. And then once you've found these people to work with, what people tend to then do is they start writing these NDAs or non-disclosure agreements where, they want to protect their unique idea. And let me be honest, ideas are worth like 1%. 99% is the execution and the distribution. Ideas are unfortunately worthless. There are so many ideas out there. I have a list in my notes with maybe 100 ideas in there. So honestly, ideas are worthless. But, people start, signing these NDAs of, you can't tell anyone about your awesome idea. And that's the completely wrong approach, because you need to be telling people about your idea in order to find out whether they'll actually be willing to pay for it. And, if someone's willing to try and do this idea quicker than you once they hear about it, then, maybe you weren't ambitious enough, or you weren't good enough at distribution. So you should always back yourself that you can nail the execution of your idea and the distribution, rather than worrying about competition, because there will always be competition, especially with AI, where things are quite cheap to reproduce. So yeah, prioritize the right things, which is distribution, solving a problem, and having a good distribution channels. And finally, I'd like to recommend this book, The Mum Test, and it's how you should talk to your customers. And it goes to this idea of the fact that your mum will always love your idea, which is not always the case. My mum definitely doesn't like most of my ideas, but that's okay. It's in fact good. So it's a way to talk to people to get the information that you need about your product, rather than them complimenting your product or giving you an easy answer that doesn't require much effort from them. So this book is great in order for you to learn how to talk to your customers and potential customers, and getting the most out of them in order to really improve your product. So I hope you enjoyed it. I'd love a like and subscribe if you did, and check out some of my other videos for more tips on SaaS businesses, SaaS coding, and mobile app development in iOS especially. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.